Who? What? Me?
Yeah, you.
What does that mean? Quiet or loud?
Or you're quiet.
I could
Either
turn it
that or
up,
you've got
or
your
I
mic
could
turned.
just do this.
You sound great to me, but I think we're live here. So.
And we're live! Welcome to the Crafty Boys. That was like the worst Irish accent I've ever attempted.
Is that what that was?
Exactly. That was an attempt.
I thought you were trying to be Captain Kangaroo.
St. Patrick's Hallows Eve.
So welcome everybody to the Crafty Boys, where we drink beer, talk about it, and then get drunk and fall over, and we do it all again the following week. So, boys, how's it going?
Hey! Happy St. Patrick's Day, guys.
Yes!
Indeed.
Locke, what beer are you drinking this evening?
Okay, so I had every intention of coming on tonight and talking about Big Kahuna, which is
that burger joint down on.
No.
They make a tasty burger.
You're riffing on Pulp Fiction, but no. The Big Kahuna was what I had intended to talk about. The problem is I drank it all.
Oh, well, all right then. That's okay.
Gone. So I'll save that for next week. This week I will talk about the other beer that I picked up this week, which was Wellington Brewery, who, if you are in Ontario, you will recognize as one of the stalwarts, one of the old school of craft brewing in this province. They are responsible for their Iron Duke beer, but this particular one is called Faces, and it's a double IPA. The artwork is obscure, hippie-ish, weird. I don't know if I understand it.
It almost looks like Yellow Submarine.
And I ultimately don't care. In 2019, they got a silver. In 2020, they got a bronze, which is to say they're going down in the world. At the International Beer Fest or some fucking thing. They are budding with bright citrus and fresh mango hop flavors. Mosaic and Simcoe hops, this enticing double IPA, creamy malt profile, hints of apricot. Yeah, it's all of that's there. What is it really like?
Yes, what is it really like?
What this is really like is a wake-up call showing that a brewery that's being known for being a little stodgy. They were, as I say, one of the early entries into the craft brewing scene in Ontario, back before it was statutorily acceptable.
How early are we talking here?
We're talking like kind of the I think 80s, 90s. I recall the first time I had a Welly was back in. I think we're talking like 93, 94, something like that.
So would you say it's kind of on par with, say, maybe Vancouver Island Brewing, loosely?
Yeah. It's that kind of operation. You got
Yeah.
This particular concoction has oats in it. In terms of international beer units, it's 80.
Wow.
Which is to say that it's not extremely hoppy. It's not extremely bitter. What it is balanced, refreshing, not overly hazy. As you can see, there's a clarity to this concoction. This is a quaffable, bright, sunshiny. What percent alcohol is this? 8.5% alcohol by volume kind of beer. So if you're looking for something that's sessionable and is also 8.5%, this is the one.
Do those things go together? Can it be sessionable and 8.5%?
You know, I like it. If you're my size, perhaps.
Maybe.
It does have the height.
If you're under 6 feet, I would think twice.
It's sessionable for Andre the Giant. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, something like that. But more than anything else, what I'll say is it shows that just because you're an older brewery that has a lot of mud on its tires and maybe a little rust on the chassis, doesn't mean you can't come up with something that is totally contemporary and I would say not just competitive, but kind of a wake up call for a lot of what else is on the market, because everybody that's doing these pineapple flavored hazy, fruit punch tasting beers, this is more balanced than that. It's more sophisticated and it's drier and it's something that adults can drink without feeling like barfing up a chest burster from Aliens. Only it's the Kool-Aid Man. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There.
Yeah.
This is more sophisticated and entirely something that I support. So there you go.
Rock on. Alan, what are you drinking?
All right, I'm drinking something that's brand new on the market this week. We have
landed.
Just landed. We just we pulled it into the boat, set the hook. It's from a brewery that we've covered before, Souk Oceanside Brewing. It is their Rena O'Reilly Dry Irish Stout, which
Rena O'Reilly. Well, that seems appropriate.
That's right. On the bottle, it says a traditional dry Irish stout named for our founder's grandmother, Rena O'Reilly, is full of aromatic notes of roast and mild chocolate. Smooth and delectable, this stout has a medium body and finishes clean and dry. And then it has a word that I couldn't pronounce if I tried. So I'm not going to try. This is how it looks. I got it in my Guinness glass here. This is not Guinness. This is the Rena O'Reilly.
It seems fairly opaque. Is it as opaque when you hold it up to the light?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You can't.
Yeah.
No light passes through it at all. The only thing that's kind of disappointing about it is the head disappeared almost immediately after I poured it. There is very little lacing to speak of. Huh?
Not a nitro can, I'm guessing?
No. This is a bottle. But I still expected a little bit more of a head from this.
You wanted some sort of,
Yeah. Aroma is very palatable. I love the aroma. The taste is even better. I mean, this is a really good dry Irish stout. In fact, I would love to mix this with ice cream on a hot day, like a little scoop of vanilla ice cream or something, and try that. We've done the beer floats before, and I used an Irish stout with an ice cream, a different Irish stout, and that was really good. I think this one would surpass that. This is a good base for that. Very dry, but a very good mouthfeel. The flavor pops. I love this. I would get this again.
Nice. So what makes it dry? I don't think I've had a beer that describes itself as dry. I'm curious.
It just doesn't have that sort of like that sweetness flavor profile to it, you know? Yeah.
The feeling of vomit in the back of your mouth that you get after you've had too much of something, that's why you don't want that sweetness. That's why you want it to be dry.
Yeah. So remember that maybe it was a porter that we had that was supposed to taste like cake. And I think Shane and Dave really didn't like it. They found it way too sweet. You avoid that with it.
Yeah. It was pretty awful. I mean, I thought it was horrible. And I was so miffed that I went blurry.
Now this one here clocks in at only 4.5% alcohol by volume. And the IBUs, it doesn't really give a numeric rating, but it's got a scale on it from 0 to 100, and it's pretty close to the 0. So not much of an IBU rating at all. Good beer. I'd get it while you can. It's probably a limited run kind of deal. Shane, over to you in the studio.
Why, thank you, Alan. Dave, are you over there in Helsinki, Sweden?
Why? Yes, Shane. Let's go back there in the in the Western Coast.
I'm assuming you're drinking tea again this week.
That would be the case.
Is it beer flavored tea?
Aloha. I don't even have an Irish mug. I don't have anything Irish. I'm not Irish. I'm not even close to anything remotely Irish. However,
Neither am I.
I lie. My lady happens to have some pretty serious Irish blood, so for her today is kind of a big deal. We would have done
Irish blood. Dave, is it her Irish blood?
Or is it somebody else's Irish blood on her?
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. Did we lose Dave? Is Dave frozen?
I think we lost Dave. Dave, come in. Come in, Dave. Dave, are you there? Dave is normally live in the truck at this time. And it appears... Oh, wait a second. I think we have Dave coming through. I'm in the chopper, and I'm totally going to be there in the back of the sack. I don't know what I'm going to... I said Irish blood, and she just came at me. It was weird, so I had to escape.
Do you remember Saturday Night Live in the 80s on the weekend update thing? They would have that guy who would be like a correspondent, and he would have like a satellite dish on top of his head.
Oh, yeah.
And something bad would happen to him every single time. They'd lose the feed. That's what Dave is.
This just in. Dave is now dead. His computer has set itself on fire, launched out, and murdered him in his chair.
Shane, what are you drinking?
I assume he'll be back. So anyway, I'm drinking tonight. This is something that I think has been on the show before, but it's Strange Fellow's Guardian IPA. It is got a really wicked dragon on the thing. And it is bold, flavorful, a hazy, thirst-quenching, super juicy, and citrusy, dry-hopped character. It will make the slaying of any dragon more enjoyable. And it is rocking in at 6.9% alcohol by volume with approximately, who knows, international beer units. Nothing on the can, so who knows what. I'm sure we could look that up online, but I don't care enough. I want to drink it. So I'm going to...
All right, let's get your verdict.
Do the pour. Oh, yeah. Oh. So if you want to take a gander at that, if it doesn't beam out. Yeah, it's a very lagery color. But oh my goodness, it's so aromatic and lovely. And you go now drink. Oh yeah. Oh, that's totally worth. Yeah, Guardian IPA, Strange Fellows Brewing on Clark in Vancouver. And speaking of Vancouver, I want to share this with you guys.
Okay.
I was gonna wait for Dave, but I don't. Who cares?
All right.
If you guys know, maybe you don't, but Kevin Smith has been doing these pop-up things for the fictional restaurant known as Moobies.
Oh yeah.
And they've opened up 3 of them at the moment. One in Orlando, Florida, one somewhere in Ohio, and of course here in Vancouver. So I kind of want to go. It was open earlier for delivery only, and now starting on Monday, you can actually go and sit down in Moobies, which is being hosted by I think it's an Irish restaurant, come to think of it. But even better than that is the fact that it gets cooler, that Main Street Brewing is I forgot to share this out. Main Street Brewing is has created, and these also launch on Monday, a Smodcast Have a Week Juicy Pale Ale, as well as a beers. Anyway, I won't say it, but it's anyway that, and it's also got a beers lager, which is of course in reference to Jay and Silent Bob. So The coolest part is
cool.
that I walk 4 blocks and I can get some. Otherwise, you can also buy it at the restaurant, which is doing the movies pop-up. So,
Right.
thoughts, excitement, glory?
It's pretty cool. I wish I could go there and partake.
Apparently, it comes in 4 packs, so I might buy a few to give it a whirl. I mean, who knows? It might.
Well,
I mean, it's Main Street Brewing, so they make decent
Yeah.
products. So it's not like they're
Yeah.
gonna, cheap out on this. So
Yeah.
I could see wanting to pick up their beer. Is it good idea to be going there before Canada's rolled out its vaccines?
well, it is Dublin Calling is the place where it is, so it's quite sizable. So it's they're only letting in.
Well, lots of air is what you're saying. Is this the place that used to be Steel Toad?
No. Dublin Calling is hang on, I'll tell you exactly where it is. It's downtown. I've been there once. But it's sort of right by the courthouses. It's just right down from there.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, near with the orange.
Yeah, it's like right on the corner of Smythe and Granville, I think. Is it Granville? I think it's Granville. But yeah, I mean it's a place I've been to many times. And why the hell not? It's big. It's not like a little hole in the wall, thing that's not going to survive.
Right.
But yeah. So I'm snoochie boochieing it at some point next week, and I will bring hopefully the beer to the podcast and drink it in front of you. And,
Nice.
But I just noticed we got a message from Dave. What happened? Computer crashed really hard. Uh-oh. It's a Mac, right?
Okay, so while we work out Dave's issues, I kind of want to show this on the show. I already showed Shane this, so it's not going to be news to him. I don't know that Locke is going to care. But while I was shopping for this, I found something really cool.
Oh yeah,
Locke.
I had to buy it. So we have tried from Driftwood Brewing Old Cellar Dweller, which is their barley wine. We had, I think it was I want to say a 2017 that we aged for 2 years and drank that one. And then we got a 2019 and drank it right away just to compare the two. And then we said, it'd be kind of cool to find one from, say, 2015 or something and compare that with those. What did I see on the shelf today? 2014 Old Cellar Dweller.
but the badass.
It even has the old label on it. I mean, this is not new product. This is old product.
Yeah, that's very cool. Well, you would think it would be at least as old as 2014.
Well, yeah. So
I was living in Victoria in 2014, if I recall.
Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah.
So now here's what I think happened. Okay, I happen to know that Driftwood Brewing is moving right now. They're moving locations. Is it possible that they found buried in the back of their building some old stock that they've completely forgot about and was like, hey, maybe we should
called Old Cellar Dweller because it's intended to be aged. That's
yes.
That's why you put wax on your lid. It's not just.
I know, but why is this suddenly hitting store shelves right now?
Well, because I would guess that it is now 5 years old.
It's 7 years old.
How is it 7 years old? Yeah, you're right. It's 7 years old. Yeah, 7 years old.
Locke is good at math.
Most of the time, I can count. I the count.
1, 2,
Yeah. Yeah, no. It's 7 years old. So, well, that would be why you would release it now. It's because it's 7 years old. But obviously, it's 7.
I guess.
7's an important number. It's like.
So I'm not gonna sit on this for very long, right? I mean, it's 7 years old. It isn't gonna age anymore, right? I mean, it's as good as it's gonna get.
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't know about that. You never really know how good something's going to get as it gets older. That's the thing. Is that there's always a risk that it's just going to die and become putrid and awful. But as everything ages, it has the potential to suddenly become completely fucking awesome. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's probably already awesome. So I'm hoping to dive into this thing like on the weekend.
Yeah, well,
if we get together,
keep us posted on that subject because I'd like to know more about this. I want to know how it turned out.
Yeah. So here's what I propose: is that this weekend at some point we get together and have a little show. Shane drinks his Smodcast beer. I drink this.
That I can do. I am pretty convinced I'll be able to pull that off.
Yeah, I think this is a good plan. It's a good plan, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
But the big news of the week, aside from boobies, what did I say? Movies?
Yeah, you said movies.
And
movies
sorry,
were a bigger event than movies, but go on.
I've totally derailed my thought. Damn it.
Movies will do that.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal.
Movies.
Take over, boys.
All right, so St. Patrick's Day. Aside from Guinness, I was very close to getting Guinness for tonight, even though it's not craft beer in my estimation. What other kinds of Irish beers do you boys like to drink?
Okay, I will say when I'm in Ireland over Guinness, I will select Beamish and Murphy's, but Beamish I like more than Murphy's and Guinness because they're from Cork and I like Cork.
Right. Okay.
Nothing wrong with Cork.
No, Cork. Do they actually export like cork, the wood?
No, I think we import it. No. Cork grows in Portugal. So you know how Portugal is called Portugal?
Yeah.
Because they export a lot of port.
Nothing wrong with
maybe
port.
Maybe the other way around. I don't know. But the idea is that in the period where there was bickering between France and England, if you wanted wine and you wanted it to be able to withstand a sea voyage that might take a week or so, and maybe it's difficult to do that because there's some smuggling involved and all the rest. Eventually you settle on the idea of fortified wines, sort of like what we do with double IPAs. The idea or an IPA at all, right? The idea is the higher alcohol and hop content preserves it for the voyage, right? Same thing with fortified wines. Right. You add a little brandy to the wine, it's less likely to go off, right? Mm-hmm. So Portugal refined this to being an export to the British Isles in a period where everybody else was bickering, and made a killing off of it because everybody wanted wine, and they wanted. I got to assume that having a little extra kick in it with a little bit of brandy in the mix probably only made it better.
Probably,
yeah,
I would think so.
So that's sort of where all of that came from, and the other piece to it is this business of putting cork in your bottle to stop it up. Cork is a bark, my understanding, that grows on cork trees, and I've seen them growing in Portugal. I can't think of anywhere else in the world where I've ever seen actual natural cork occurring. Don't know where it does. But the move towards foam stoppers instead of cork ones, maybe there's a consistency issue there, but truthfully, I think it's shameful, and I, of course, being the old school guy that I am, like cork and everything, and my wallet is made of cork, and there you go. And that's as much as I have to say on the subject. Yeah,
Right.
Apparently, cork can be found in Portugal, Spain, Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia. There's also some in Italy and some in France. Primarily, it comes from Portugal and Spain. It's considered to be sustainable because the cork tree is not cut down to obtain the cork. Only the bark is stripped to harvest the cork.
Yeah, see.
So that's that. But
I thought supplies were limited, though. Just kind of jumping in the middle of things.
I thought, to be honest, I did think that as well. However, the reality is that wine has been, as Locke was pointing out, they've been using foam or other kinds of stoppers or screw tops. To be honest, that's a big thing. That's
because the big thing in wine today isn't aging wine. The big thing in wine today is drinking it right away as fast as you can.
Yeah, and the other thing that I was learning about not too long ago was that apparently the wine industry, or some of the wine industry, is pushing for the use of those wine in a box. It gets made fun of quite a bit. Apparently, that is the best way to keep wine, because there is no chance of the air getting at it and stuff like that. So wine in a box apparently is the preferred method of shipping it and drinking it. So
can you imagine going to like a really
plastic bag in a box? Do you?
Yeah.
Can you imagine going into like a really, really fancy restaurant and you order a glass of wine, and instead of bringing out the bottle and holding it over their arm, they bring out a box with a spigot over the arm? It's like, do you want to smell that?
Would you like to sniff the bottle cap?
Would you like to sniff the bottle cap? Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, was that Steve Martin in like the Muppet movie, or was that?
I just watched that. I watched it just recently. Yeah,
seriously, well done, sir. I gotta say, the Muppets are a class act. A day doesn't go by that I don't, think of Miss Piggy.
Although, if you watch some of the original, and there's been some talk of this online recently, but the original Muppet episodes are on Disney Plus now, and I was shocked in one of the episodes when Fozzie goes up on stage, he tells a Polish joke.
Yeah, it was the 70s.
It was the 70s, but I was completely thrown back by that.
Well, I mean,
Hindi, the Swedish.
Here's the here's the thing, and I heard this on a podcast that I really respect lately, and also again by the same author on a show just last week, that he's tired of the cancel culture, which a lot of people are, and he did not like the Muppets specifically being targeted because the lack of people understanding how to experience culture with the intent of what it was at the time, because you can watch, if you really want to, you could go and watch speeches by Hitler right now, and I don't see anybody screaming for Hitler to be canceled, but the reality is it's historical art, documentation, whatever you want to call it, for the Muppets being unsavory to a certain degree, because they have warnings on them now about the topics and things like that. But there are far worse things that we could
The-
also
Okay,
want to
okay.
get rid of.
I get your point.
The only people who pretend to be offended by that stuff aren't really
Hmm.
offended. They're doing it for calculated gain.
Yeah.
Oh no,
And-
I agree.
and they sell themselves as being an at-risk minority on the basis that if you offend me, you're causing great harm. The real problem with all of this, and we know that time is a major factor in here. What we've got is stuff being targeted from the past, not from the present, from the past. And why is it being targeted from the past? Well, I'll suggest that perhaps instead of there being all of these suddenly appearing minorities on this stage of the world, that actually what we're really encountering is one single majority. They're the largest majority in human history. They're the millennial generation. They are a generation who culturally have more in common with each other than they have in common with anybody that came before, and probably anyone will come afterwards. They all grew up on the data phone. Their first reaction when they come up
Just call it the data phone.
Data phone.
The data phone.
the data phone, well, whatever. Like,
Data connected phones.
I don't know about that stuff. That's all sort of news to me. What I'm suggesting is
The newfangled internet.
that
Sorry, keep going.
this Baudrillard, Foucault, Derrida sort of nonsense that you get in universities nowadays about how everybody's got to identify with some kind of victimhood in order to matter. I guess what I'm suggesting is if there's anybody that is thoroughly disqualified from so doing, it would be the largest generational majority that this species has ever seen. And they want to target the Muppets, but you're right, they don't give a shit. Like David Duke is fine, but yeah, right. Like nobody's trying to cancel David Duke, but Jordan Peterson. Oh Jesus, God, we can't let him in. Can't listen to that guy because obviously he's dangerous.
Okay, I need to go on record here that I hate the term cancel culture. I hate it with a passion. I wish people would stop
You
using
want to
it.
cancel it?
There's no.
We're gonna cancel.
Yes, I
Cancel
want to
culture.
cancel
Hashtag
culture.
cancel it.
It's just the term that I hate, not necessarily the act of asking for accountability from people, but just the term itself. It just drives me insane. And that's all I got to say about that.
I'm waiting for Dave to chime in on this. I really
Dave, tell us before your computer crashes.
Smart ass.
Whoa.
Victim culture, no thanks. It doesn't help anybody.
It is true that there's definitely a lot of that as well about the whole
Well, and unfortunately,
I don't ever want to
seems-
admit it, but yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, and it seems like I don't know, kids today,
Yes.
Well-
there just does seem to be this idea that kind of pointing at what Locke was saying, that you're not anybody if you're not identified as some kind of a victim of something. That's almost what it seems like for certain groups. In fact, for a lot of groups. But
Well, yeah.
what victimhood, where does it get you in the end? What's the percentage? Yeah, sure, you might come off as special. You've got some kind of, you've got your card, right? Yeah, I'm,
Got
whatever
card.
you want to identify as that's been oppressed. Well, yeah, okay, some folks are going to have ammunition there. I'm not going to argue that one. However, I think even cultures that are traditionally considered oppressed you're going to see a split in those cultures between the folks that are like, damn the man type of thinking, and those within that culture that say, yeah, you're right. That sucked balls in the past that we had to deal with. And what are you going to do with your life, regardless of what's going on around you? Where is your power right now, right here, that you can take? Because everybody has power. Everybody. And if you don't believe me, read Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. End rant.
Okay. I think what it comes down to, what it comes down to is with the whole quote unquote cancel culture, is that there is no gray area. Everything is black and white. It's either good or it's bad. And the first time I ever encountered this, was with that. I guess it's a Christmas song. The one, it's like a duet where the woman's trying to be convinced to stay over by the guy.
That was
baby.
Wasn't that
baby
just
cold
this
outside.
Christmas? Wasn't that this Christmas?
No, it was a couple
it's
Christmas.
it
been
last
going on
year?
But anyway, there's a line in it where she's the woman in the song is drinking something, and she's like, "What's in this drink?" Because back when the song was made, that was sort of like women use that as an excuse to not know that, quote unquote, that there's alcohol in it or whatever, even though there is. They're just going, "What's in this drink?" But millennials today are considering that to mean that the guy drugged her and is gonna, do.
What do millennials think of the Pogues? It's fucking St. Patty's. What do they think of the Pogues?
I don't know. I don't know what millennials think about anything.
But seriously, Pogues. Like.
And I'll just say, it's not all millennials. Not all millennials are like that. I know some millennials that are good friends, and they don't think that way at all.
No, you're right. They're not all idiots. It's very easy to paint them all by the colors that the people that want to ride that carpet have assumed they can represent. The real problem that the millennials have is that there are so many shitheads out to overrepresent their generational culture in a way that they haven't been appointed to do. Nobody's elected them. They don't actually represent anyone. They're just a fucking bunch of assholes that are saying, when my generation, your generation, what? You own them, do you? Did you buy them?
Boomer.
Yeah. Except that I used to do that because I'm Gen X and so are you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We all did it.
The real misery of it is that we got sandwiched between the millennials and the boomers. Who the boomers were the largest generation that ever existed before the millennials showed up. And somehow we missed out on all of this because the truth is we're the baby bust. We're the point where everybody got sensible and decided, oh yeah, we don't need to have 1 million children in order to feel like we're alive. Yeah, okay, yeah, maybe we'll just have like 1 or 2. Maybe that's a normal thing to do. But what's going on today? I sort of don't know, and all I can say.
I blame the internet.
Well, the internet is obviously bad.
And
We're
social
using
media
it now for bad, and then that's because I am.
Okay, no, seriously, social media.
On the side of bad. So
No.
Go internet. Go you internet, folks.
Social media is going to be
Social
the
media.
death of us all.
Yeah.
Okay, I've always said that, and I always sort of meant it sort of like exaggeratingly, like it wouldn't actually kill us. Now I don't think that's actually true. I think it is actually going to kill us. It's actually going to become self-aware. Facebook is going to hunt you down while you're sleeping, slit your throat,
like.
It's going to poke you to death,
like.
You didn't like that post with the appropriate iconographic usage. You are going to be punished.
It was the machine, Sarah. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
Oh my god, I want Michael B to do that. I want him just to do that. Oh my god, that's awesome. I get to see that. I mean, in the film The Terminator, I have to say that is my favorite scene where he's in the car with her explaining, what's happened in the future and all that kind of stuff, and it's like him when he was in the actor was in the police station and he was talking to the psychologist and whatnot. The way that Michael Biehn performed that role, it's like he's one of those actors that's like, I know exactly what I have to do. I got to get the job done because I have to get the IHOP or something. He's got somewhere else to go. So he gets in there, nails it, and then just, I just picture him being like, all right, that was good. Yeah, check the gate. All right. Okay, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Yeah, see that. What do we shoot tomorrow? Like I always feel like he's like a one take kind of guy, but it's so convincing. I just love that sort of, the passion that's not like overacting. It's just got that right level of I'm talking about something that's obviously fake, and but I'm gonna just give it to you on the celluloid, and you're gonna like go, Jesus Christ, I really hope that I can get home tonight, because I don't want some Terminators to walk around the corner and be like, you're past curfew, time for termination. Of course, that was more like a Ed 209 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
which is another great movie I just watched recently.
RoboCop.
Oh yeah, Ed 209 is awesome.
Okay. So compare the original RoboCop, Verhoeven, with the reboot RoboCop.
I haven't seen the reboot.
The 2013 or 14 one. I like the actor who was portraying RoboCop.
Here's the thing. I hate reboots, but I have to confess that I thought that they did an acceptable job, better than the sequels. Put it that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, true. I mean, RoboCop.
So how well did it do? Sort of like there was in the original RoboCop, they kind of made it was kind of hokey at the same time, and they did it on purpose.
The original RoboCop
with the commercials and stuff like that.
Verhoeven was the director of the original RoboCop.
Yes.
Verhoeven is a satirist. Don't make the mistake of thinking otherwise. When Verhoeven does a movie, you should assume that he's making fun of you. You're the target. You are being picked on if you're watching a Verhoeven film.
Right.
If you assume that, then you will understand a little bit about why some of the scenes seem hokey. Yeah, they seem hokey. That's because he's making fun of you.
Yes. Okay,
because if you don't pay attention to what he's doing, he'll make you eat a trash can.
Right.
Yes.
So now the new one, obviously not Verhoeven. So how does that one sort of measure up on the satire level? Or does it?
I don't know. I feel like it's become, on some level, like everything else in American culture, a proxy for American electoral politics. And that's the thing that I object to most about most of everything that's going on right now is that there's very little in the way of of culture globally that hasn't been affected by the fact that the U.S. has the loudest voice on the planet, and their electoral politics are such that they've created their own vision of a culture war, which is also a race war, which is also an ideology war. And it all is supposed to line up between two options. It's Coke and Pepsi, right?
Yeah.
And I object to that because I don't think that anybody can conscionably say that there are two options and not be negligent to the possibility that maybe there are a lot of other options out there that we're not tabling right now because and it's not about we want our own side to win. It's that we're so scared that the other side will win that we're frozen to come up with anything that isn't a direct opposition to the other side, which just reaffirms this entrenchment of two options. And I think it's stupid, and I think it's wrong.
Yeah, they definitely need to get RC Cola in.
Yes, RC Cola, Jolt Cola. Yeah.
Oh, I prefer
Jolt-
RC.
Is Jolt Cola still around?
RC is a better product ultimately because it's got a better flavor. Jolt Cola has twice the caffeine. You notice that I'm drinking a double IPA.
Yeah. Jolt kind of came back for a while when my kids were younger, and I haven't seen it in a while now. But
I was just curious. I don't know.
It's gone into the nether portal, and it will come back.
But I know somebody in our show here had for some time a significant.
Oh, Julian's around. Nice.
No, I'm talking about Dave.
Okay.
I'm talking about Dave and how Dave had a significant addiction to Dr. Pepper many years ago.
She's a pepper.
Exactly.
I'm a pepper, you're a pepper, he's a pepper, she's
Dave,
a pepper.
how much Dr.
Wouldn't you
Pepper
like to
did you
be a
drink in
pepper?
a day, would you say?
Uh,
And I can't remember if you were a diet drinker. I don't think you were.
no, hell no. Diet
Have you
is
ever attempted?
diet is die with a T. Let's not split any hairs here.
Have you ever attempted to drive across North America?
I did
Cannibal
the classic.
Run reference.
Did well, definitely no cannibal style stuff, but yeah, I went out as far as Ontario when I was younger.
Okay.
Family trips, kind of garbage, right? But no, I was doing about 1 liter, maybe 2 liters some days.
What?
Oh yeah. When I first met Dave, like he was pounding this thing.
I was when I met Shane, I was just coming off.
Yeah, he was on the tail end. He was like wigging out. But speaking of Dr. Pepper and driving across the country, I suddenly I want to go and watch the Cannonball Run movies.
Oh yeah, I do too. Yeah. I haven't seen them in forever.
I want to force feed millennials the Cannonball Run movies because
I am Captain Chaos.
You've seen Clockwork Orange. I want to make them watch the Cannonball Run movies.
Who are all these people? Well, most of them are dead, but whatever. Keep going.
How dare they?
I don't even remember. I remember nothing about the Cannonball Run. It would be like watching it for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very long
It has
time.
Lamborghinis in it.
I remember that.
Yeah. Do you remember?
It has Jackie Chan in it too, doesn't it?
Countach. Yeah, Lamborghini Countach is in that movie.
God, I want 1981.
Where can you even find it? Is it available for streaming anywhere?
I don't know. And of course, the Cannonball Run 2.
Yeah, but you can't watch 2 without 1.
No, this is true.
No,
but,
you gotta watch
I don't actually know if they are of it. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna look it up.
Look it up. You've heard it here first, folks. The Cannonball Run is available for streaming on this platform. What is a shame?
Hang on, I gotta search for the movie here.
Searching
For film.
Working.
Cannonball Run is available apparently on Prime Video.
It is amongst other things one of the last hurrahs of the Rat Pack.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's true. It was Martin's
Were
last
they
movie,
all
I
in
think,
that?
if I remember correctly. Right.
Dean Martin.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Sinatra was gone by then.
By 81, yeah, I think so.
No, Sinatra was gone later.
Was he?
Like, you mean dead?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, later. Much later.
I will tell you right now if I log into my Prime account. Let's see. Searching for Cannonball.
be good to see that
Coming
again.
to America, the sequel is their big, huge thing right now.
Yeah, which I sort of want to see because I actually had a friend of mine that used to play up being a little bit, Eddie Murphy and Coming to America. He was a prosecutor from Uganda, and we used to hang out in law school in Portland. He was a very, very good dude. Yeah.
It's not available. Cannonball Run 2 is available for rent, but you could, of course, rent these films from, all over the place. But
I'm sure you could download it somewhere.
Oh,
somebody's
if
going to
you
have
really
it.
wanted to. I'm sure it has a Blu-ray.
I really
release.
want to. I want to watch it.
I want to watch it right now. If I'm not watching it the next 10 minutes, you're all
the cast. Okay, the cast is Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, Jamie Farr.
Wasn't Roger Moore in there as well? At least as a
Roger
cameo?
Moore, yeah.
Yeah, I think Jackie Chan's in it.
Yeah, he plays one of the Japanese drivers.
Totally must have been like really young.
Oh, here you go. Jackie Chan. It's his first U.S. movie appearance.
Oh,
Probably Heather Thomas.
My favorite Jackie Chan line from the movie: "This infrared is the cat's ass."
I don't remember anybody else.
There were tons of people in
Tons
it.
and tons of people.
Basically, if they were in Smoking the Bandit, they would probably
Sammy Davis Jr. was in it.
Oh yeah.
Davis Jr.
Martin and
Peter Fonda was in it. Dom DeLuise, of course, which I think you've already mentioned.
Yeah.
There's a ton of people. It's like one of those casts where it's like everyone wanted to be in it because it was such a ridiculous premise, and the guys who made it, the guys who directed it, knew everybody, and it just wanted to be an ensemble piece. And it's like, remember the actor with the eyes? Sorry.
Did anybody ever see Up the Creek?
Yes.
Up the Creek. Pretty fucking classic, no?
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
I don't remember that one.
This was taking Up the Creek and upping the budget by an order of magnitude.
Yeah, Up the Creek was a fantastic movie.
It really was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen it.
You must see it. You must.
Yeah.
No, I'm just looking it up right now, and I don't.
But put yourself in your 12-year-old shoes when you do it.
Well, I mean, with all these films, that's exactly what you have to do. I mean,
you know
them as an
another
adult. It's like watching Knight Rider. Like you watch Knight Rider as an adult, and you're like,
No. Watching Knight Rider as an adult is a different thing than watching Up the Creek. Up the Creek reminds you of who you should have been. Watching Knight Rider reminds you of how screwed up you were when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Well, I remember, watching those films when you're 12 years old. And you're just waiting for, what is there going to be a scene with boobs in it?
I know. Yeah, okay. So, did any of you guys, when you were deciding what movie to watch, and you were looking in the paper at the movies, and you
Oh,
looked to
God,
see
yeah.
which ones had nudity in? I think I'll go see that one.
I still cannot believe, and I've told this story to people before about how embarrassed I am to have gone to the movie theater with Alan to watch the film Navy SEALs, and Alan was already, I think you were already 18, and I was not. I was just on the cusp, and we wanted to go see this film, and Alan potentially was going to have to be the adult to go like, yes, of course, these children can come with me. I remember that conversation in the car before getting there because we realized, oh, wait a minute, this is like a rated R film. Are we going to be able to get in?
Seals came out when? Back in the fucking 1950s?
Navy SEALs.
I think it was like 1990 or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that.
We used to call yourself Father Time then. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I know.
Well, Gizmo Jones in the corner there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it came out in 1990. Oh my god. But yeah, like we were not quite. I was technically not old enough to go. Yeah.
But and then
days.
the person taking our tickets was probably younger than us and didn't.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like we were all concerned, and then we got there, and it's like, oh, no one's gonna care. Although I will point out, I went to. Speaking of that particular theater, that it was at the Odeon.
Yes, it was.
And the reason I remember that is that I went to see Alien 3 there. I don't remember who I was with, but somebody I knew came out of the showing just before and said, "Watch out for the bucket," which of course is in this scene, in this film. They douse an alien with like heated lead or something, and then they turn the water on, and metal things that have been covered in this thing explode. That's the whole premise. Sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen the film. Not that I would recommend it, but
picture show kind of beware of the bucket kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that should be a thing. Beware of the bucket, and
everybody brings a bucket of something.
a bucket of
I gotta tell you,
hot lead.
As somebody that used to clean movie theaters for a living, I hate that idea. I fucking hate it. But go on.
Well, it's like going to the Roxy to go and see Little Shop of Horrors or anything. Remember,
it's like going into a theater after you've had a massive fucking, pile of people climb in to see a fucking show, and evidently, everybody wanted to buy popcorn, and that's great. And then you go in and you're starting to clean up the aisles, and you realize that some people brought in their own food, and that amongst the food that they brought in, there are half-eaten cobs of corn strewn on the aisle. And thinking, my God, how did they not understand the premise here? Like, fuck's sake.
That sounds so
Cover girl's
weird.
like a half-eaten turkey leg, or
I was just gonna say, like, like you see,
Yeah,
like they leave the
I've seen that. Yeah.
they leave the
How did they get that
tablecloth, all
How
the
did they do
silverware
that?
they brought.
What were they playing at being pregnant or something? Or what? How did I miss?
there's a pig in the aisle with an apple in its mouth and the little paper, little furly things on it.
Well, I mean, probably the best place that I've been to that deals with that sort of problem at watching a film is the Twilight Drive-In out in Langford, and it's close to the border. It's like that far down into the Lower Mainland, and if you go there, wait, sorry, did I say Langford? I meant Langley. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Although I still have fond memories of the Tillicum Drive-In.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so you go out there, and it actually has signage that says, by the way, the film ticket that you have just purchased, like 99% of that goes to the licensing, which gets forwarded on to the people that made the film, that kind of thing. So if you bring your own food into our drive-in, it's we're not going to be here that long, so we encourage you to go to the cafeteria thing they've got set up there and buy burgers or whatever, because they've got a lot of stuff. It's not just popcorn. And I just thought it was just a very plain and simple kind of explanation of the money you pay for the ticket.
Yeah, for sure.
Primarily is out the door as soon as they get it. So the only way that they actually do this is popcorn sales, etc.
That's why a medium popcorn is $25.
Well, exactly, right. Which is why I support Landmark Cinemas, a chain that I like because they are kind of in between the bigger players.
Yes. Yeah. I'm with you there.
And stuff like that. So yeah, I just like them. And when I go, I generally will, I might not eat. I'll wait until I get there, and then I'll eat popcorn and, be very pleased. So, but anyway, boys, I just was looking at the timer. It's been a whole hour. So let's leave it off. We are going to do a show some point this weekend. I think it'll be Friday or Saturday, whenever we decide. But yeah, we'll be drinking more beer, and the show will be awesome. So there you go.
Nice.
All right.
Cool.
And as always, I thank everyone for being here. I thank you for watching. And Alan, take us out.